Ever look at SAP AI and just feel a little overwhelmed? Yeah, you're not alone. It's a huge ecosystem, right? But what if I told you there's a simple 8-step roadmap to get you through it all? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today, step by step, to give you a super clear plan for mastering this stuff.
So the big question is, how do you actually become an expert in enterprise AI, especially within a powerhouse like SAP? It can kind of feel like you're trying to solve a giant maze without a map. But don't worry, we've got the map and we're about to walk you through it together. And here it is. This awesome visual comes from Alma TA. Think of this as your ladder to becoming an expert. We're going to go through every single rung, starting from the absolute basics and climbing all the way to the top. By the end, you'll have a clear, actionable path forward. Okay, so we're going to tackle this journey in 4 main parts. First, we have to lay the groundwork, the essentials. Then, we'll get into the really fun part, building with the actual AI tools. After that, we'll talk about reaching the pinnacle, what it really means to be an expert. And finally, we'll tee you up for your next big step in AI. Let's start at the beginning, shall we?
First up, laying the groundwork. These are the first 3 blocks of our tower, and honestly, they're absolutely critical. I mean, you can't build a skyscraper on a shaky foundation, right? It's the exact same idea with your AI knowledge.
So this foundation is built on 3 key pillars. Step 1 is all about mastering the why, the fundamentals of AI itself. Then, step 2 is understanding the how from a user's perspective, which means getting comfortable with SAP's AI copilot, Joules. And step 3 is seeing the big picture, the where. How all this stuff fits into SAP's larger integration strategy.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? Before you can even think about building something cool and innovative, you have to have this context. Understanding the core ideas, the tools people use every day, and the overall game plan, that's what sets you up for success with all the technical stuff that comes later.
And that's really the key takeaway for this first stage. We're not talking about writing code or anything like that yet. This is all about getting the solid grip on the what and the why at a strategic level. If you can get this part right, the technical side becomes so much easier to understand.
All right, our foundation is solid. Now it's time for the really exciting part, building with AI tools. This is where we shift gears from theory to practice and actually start getting our hands dirty with the technology.
So where's the best place to start building? Well, step 4 points us straight to the pre-built SAP AI services. The best way to think about these is like ready-to-go Lego kits. You don't have to design the little bricks from scratch, you can just start snapping them together to create some really powerful solutions. It's for sure the fastest way to get results and build some serious momentum.
Now, once we move past those pre-built solutions, the next few steps are all about introducing you to your core AI toolkit. This is where we open up the toolbox and learn how to use all the individual hammers, wrenches, and power tools that really drive SAP's AI.
And this slide really breaks down that toolkit beautifully. So, step 5, SAP AI Foundation, that's your workbench. It's the underlying platform everything is built on. Then you've got step 6, the Generative AI Hub. Think of that as your direct line to all the powerful large language models, the brains behind generative AI. And finally, step 7, SAP AI Core, that's the workshop. That's where you can actually build, train, and deploy your own custom AI models, completely from the ground up.
And this is such an important point. Working your way through steps 4 to 7 is what makes that massive leap. You go from being someone who just uses AI features to someone who can actively build, customize, and deploy brand new AI solutions. This is where you really become a creator.
So we've built our foundation, and we've mastered the tools. Now it's time to place that final, crowning block on top of our tower. This is all about cementing and, more importantly, proving your new expertise. And that final block, the capstone for this entire structure, is step 8, getting your SAP AI certification. After all that foundational learning, after all the hands-on practice with the tools, this is how you make it official and prove your skills to the world.
But why is certification so important? It's so much more than just a piece of paper. It validates all your hard work for employers, it gives you that official industry recognition, and it can directly boost your career opportunities. It's basically the official stamp that says, hey, I don't just know this stuff, I've actually mastered it. Okay, so we have walked through the entire 8-step journey, from those fundamental concepts all the way up to the pinnacle of certification. The path is laid out right in front of you. The only real question now is, what are you going to do with this knowledge?
When you get right down to it, it all comes back to these 8 building blocks. Every single one is a clear, manageable step, and when you put them all together, what you've really built is a powerful foundation for your entire future career in enterprise AI.
So I'll leave you with this one last question. As you look at this complete path, from the fundamentals all the way to certification, which block are you going to lay down first? The journey to becoming an expert starts right now. Thanks for joining me on this one.